while I don't want to just say, make a blanket encouragement for a ketogenic diet, what I would say is I think it is in everyone's best interest that at least for some chunks of hours in a week that they make sure they have ketones in their blood. In other words, that they're in a state of ketosis. And the easiest way to do that is fasting. Even if someone just can do one 24-hour fast a week, a food fast, they could drink water or other things that won't spike insulin, like, coffee or tea, unsweetened, then you can ensure that your insulin is coming down and that you can have some ketones. That'll help your body be a little more insulin sensitive, keeping insulin sensitivity working well as insulin goes low, and you're fueling the brain with ketones. So very, very worthwhile to ensure that at least some part of the week is spent in ketosis. And again, the easiest way is fasting, not only a 24-hour fast, but perhaps choosing 3 or so days a week where you fast through breakfast. You've eaten a good, sensible dinner at, say, 6 or 7, and you've stopped eating then. And then by the time you eat lunch the next day, you'll be in a mild state of ketosis, almost certainly, and it won't be too uncomfortable. So there's no evidence to suggest that having the brain switch between ketones and glucose is somehow more beneficial. There's no evidence on that, where it's just unrealistic for the majority of us to say, okay, I'm in ketosis and I'm never going out of it. It's rather, let's just be smart with our carbohydrates. We're avoiding the most processed of them for the most part of the day. And we're making sure we have these periods of time where we are keeping insulin low, either through low carb or even faster through fasting. We're finding that ketones are increasing energy production, or rather maintaining high energy production in older animals, and it's increasing their curiosity and their exploratory behaviors. So these are brains that aren't satisfied just sitting there. They want to be learning and exploring, and we hope to publish this by the end of the year. The animals are moving more, they're exploring more, and appearing to remember more. It's garbage though, Deborah.
Why?
It's garbage. Really, that's the theory that has fallen apart.
Yeah.
It just continues to fall apart, where we have post-mortem data on humans finding that humans will die with Alzheimer's disease or without Alzheimer's disease, and there's no predictive power of who had plaques or who didn't. You'd think if plaques matter, then everyone who died with confirmed Alzheimer's disease would have plaques in their brain, and those who didn't have any evidence of Alzheimer's would have no plaques. And that's just not true. In fact, a very interesting thing happened last year, where the FDA was going through the approval process for an Alzheimer's drug. I wouldn't be surprised if some people saw these headlines. It made waves. Basically, this drug was approved by the FDA despite the special panel overwhelmingly voting against its use. The reason the panel voted against it is because it showed no powerful efficacy, certainly none worth the cost. And you think if this were working, it'd be worth any cost. And so the more, and that just falls in the same line of a number of drugs that are these anti-plaque drugs, and they just don't work. That's really, I think, been the primary reason that the energetic view of Alzheimer's disease has become so popular, because it has so much more substantial data to support it. However, not a lot of drugs necessarily, which is why maybe it will never be totally mainstream. Something's only mainstream when there's an expensive drug to go along with it.
Annotated and summarized, easy to share with loved ones. The description below the title for this video has these summary points.
From the website doctorstotrust.com, you can view the summary notes and share or print the PDF of those notes.